All right. My name is Esperanza. I'm coming to speak to you today just to give you a little bit of hope. Like, I was sitting in those seats. I'm a formerly convicted felon. I went to prison. I came home. And the difference between me coming home and not going back, which is what I did, like, I was a career criminal. I went to prison. I went to prison once, but I went to jail every 6 months. 6 to 8 months I was there. And I think the difference between this time go around was that I went to school. Education to me is the door that, you know how they say, you have all these doors open for you, and then when you come home, all the doors close. Well, education was the door that I built for myself that was able for me to never go back to prison again. I came home and I went to school to be an auto mechanic. Now, as you can see, my nails is done. I ain't no mechanic. I wasn't good at it at all, but what I was good at was selling. I was good at talking. So when I used to be on the block, because I sold crack, now I sell cars, but when I was on the block, all I did was talk. I talked about how good I was going to be, how I was going to, damn, phone ringing, it's a customer. I talked about how, you know, this week I'm going to make clips for 25. Next week I always had a gimmick. You know what I mean? And people be like, yo, if you only channeled all that energy into something else, you could be anything. And I listened, but I didn't listen. That's why I kept going back, kept repeating. And the only difference between the time that I came home this time and all the other times before was that I went to school. When I went to the halfway house, they was like, you could either get a job or you could go to school. I knew that whatever job that I could have possibly got was something that, first, I wasn't going to take. Second, I wasn't going to be no good at it. And as soon as I got my second check, I was going to go to the city and I was going to be back on the block. So I wanted to do something different. I had a kid. And I'm like, you know what? I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's like insanity. People always say that, and it's like a cliche, but it's the truth of the matter. So I came home. I went to school to be a mechanic. As I was there, the dude was like, yo, when you finish this, he was like, I'm gonna give you a shot in selling cars. And I'm thinking to myself, I went to be an auto mechanic. I wasn't even good at that. How could I possibly go there and do this and be good at it? And my whole thought process was, if I could sell crack and I could sell a bad package to people and they keep coming back like, yo, it didn't come back, but you came back. So if I could do that, then I could sell anything. I went there, I learned their way of talking. Like, I'm talking like this, right, like regular, because I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm amongst my peers right now. But when I'm up in the other office, I'm speaking like you wouldn't even know. Hi, my name is Esperanza. Welcome to Sansone. I'm glad you came down today. Like, you got to be able to be swift and changeable and change everything. And if you could do that, because it's possible. I feel like I don't think that I'm a special case, like, oh, all of a sudden they just built you. Nah. If you sold anything, I'm not talking about anything. If you was a booster, if you sold drugs, if you sold anything in that nature, you could do what I do. Now, by the grace of God, I went to that school. It was like a year, whatever. I went there. Now I make $125 a year. It's not through no amazing thing or none of that. All I did was listen. I was able to take direction, and I know that when you come somewhere, you got to dress the part. Like, you want a Fortune 500 job, you got to come there dressed like you want a Fortune 500 job. Even if you don't have none of the skills, because none of the skills that it takes to be that person, they're going to teach you. It's not like you walk in a job and they be like, okay, do this, I want you to go do this, and you got to do it right. Nah, when you walk into that job, they're going to be like, all right, here's a person that's going to train you to do that job. You just have to go in there confidence. Confidence gets you the job before anything. If you walk into a room, like I walked in here, I didn't even know what I was going to say before I came in here, but I knew that I was going to be amazing. You know what I mean? And you guys can talk about me when I leave, tell them how amazing I was, because I know that that's what I'm going to bring forth. Because any type of way I could walk in a job and I could talk to these people, and I was like, bro, all I did was go to jail. That was like, I was so great at it. You know what I mean? The people come by the block, they be like, oh, there she is again, take her away. I'm going. I was so great at that. You feel me? But now I'm great at something else. When I walk in the room, I command respect. Because when I walk in the room, I give respect. I give exactly what I'm asking for, and I'm not tolerating anything less. And if you walk into a room and you exude confidence, you have no reason why you're not going to get the job. There's no reason why they can deny you what you're supposed to get. And being a salesperson, I walk into a room every day and I walk up to people and I say, hey, my name is Esperanza. What are you looking for today? And every day they reach into their pocket and they give me $50,000. They give me $20,000. This is the things that I know that I was capable of doing. I didn't know I was capable when I was on the block, but I knew that I was going to be better than what I could have ever been being there. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to come and let y'all know that there is life after incarceration. Mm-hmm. And this is not the last place that you're going to be. That's right. All you have to do is listen, take direction, you know what I mean? Be passionate about what you want to do and go out there and get it. And if you ever sold something, you should definitely walk into a dealership and ask them for a job. And all they want to know is that A, are they going to show up on time? And B, do they have what it takes to be a salesperson? And all it takes is confidence. You know what I mean? That's all you need when you walk into a business is confidence. If you feel like you're not going to do it, then you're going to exude that and they're going to be like, they can't do it. Why would I give them a job? It looked like they feel like they can't do it. But if you walk in there like, I'm glad that I showed up and you glad that I showed up, they're going to give you what you asked for. And the universe will set itself up to give you exactly what you asked for. And the biggest thing that I have to say is that I heard this I like to listen to self-motivation. First of all, everybody should listen to self-motivation. That's something that I want to give to y'all. If you listen to self-motivation, you'll feel better about yourself, because sometimes the only thing that you're going to hear positive throughout the day is what you tell yourself. And the dude told me, he wasn't talking to me precisely, but I felt like he was speaking to me. He said, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do you no harm. So if you think that you're the best, and you act like you're the best, and you walk around telling yourself the best, the only thing that can happen is you're going to be the best. And you're going to attract the best. So, I don't know if you guys have any questions for me, but if you do, you could definitely ask me a question.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I win the trip every year, you know what I'm saying? I went to DR, I went to Jamaica. I didn't even have a passport before I got this job. I went to DR, Jamaica, this year I went to Mexico. You could be, but yeah, it could happen. It can happen to anybody. So if you want to know, there's brochures right there. I got my program is called Prison City and Her. I interview women that have been incarcerated and have been in the same position that I've been in, and I give them a platform so that they can tell their story, because people forget about us. It's like we did the crime, we got to do all the time, and then we're swept under the rug. I give people a platform to speak and to say what they need to say, and it helps other people. Yes. Yes, YouTube. You could go on YouTube. It's called Prison City and Her. And you can check it out. I interviewed a couple.
Your name before. I swear I heard your name.
You probably did. I'm around.
Mm-hmm. For real.
Stitches Esperanza.
Esperanza is what I heard.
Yeah, and I'm the only one out there that's black named Esperanza.
Here?
Trust me. Huh?
You from New Brunswick?
No, I'm from Broadway. Mm-hmm. I'm from Broadway, but I was locked up a whole bunch of times, so I've been jailing around a lot of different people.
How long have you been
home?
Yeah.
14 years, about to be 15. And I've been selling cars. You know how they say...
Was you in the Middlesex?
No, I wasn't in Middlesex, but I went all the way I went to Clinton.
Okay.
You know how they say idle time is the devil's workshop?
Yeah.
Like, for real, had I not gotten this job, because the job is, I'm not going to say it's an easy job, because it takes like 12 hours of your day. I work 9 to 9, almost every day. But I don't have no room to do anything else.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when I walk into a store, I don't have to ask them what the price is, to an extent. You know what I mean? I could buy what I want. I made more money selling cars than I ever could have done selling crack. It wasn't like I was, Tony Montana or nothing. I was a low-level, stand on the corner, sell drugs type of person. You feel me? And now I don't have to look over my shoulder. I don't have to worry about nobody coming to get me or take everything I got. I just keep moving. So it's out there. Trust me. All you gotta do is come through with the face, and it's the most forgiving business that I've ever seen. Like, everybody, and I ain't gonna say everybody, but the majority of people there have committed crimes.
Right.
You know, I used to work beside a dude that was a murderer. I worked beside a dude that robbed banks. Mm-hmm. And all of them getting up. One of them is a sales manager. He make about $250 a year, easy. So it's out there, trust me. And hopefully my boss see this and they see how much I'm working, I'm trying to put them out there that I can do finance, because finance is like a $250 a year job.
Yeah.
So it is out there. Money is there. It don't have to be this.
So I have a question for you.
Mhm.
So that first round interview,
Mhm.
because that's a stumbling block oftentimes for folks.
Mhm.
And you go to the interview, so
Okay.
you have a little bit of insecurity, because we all do.
Yes.
Now you're just coming out, you went through the mechanics program,
Mhm.
you decided that you know you weren't good at that, so you're going to sell. What did that interview look like for you? Do you remember what it felt like?
Yeah, but you know what? I had a different type of interview, because the person that interviewed me, first it was Rich Liebler. He interviewed me. So he had already had a little bit of dealings with me, because he taught life skills at the school. But he brought somebody else over.
So we want to sidebar. She's saying Rich because I know Rich as well. Rich Liebler is a great guy over at Sansone. So that makes things a little different. So if anybody's actually interested in automotive and career in automotive, whether it be the hands-on or whether it's sales, whatever, we have that connection. Rich is a really good guy. And Esperanza is right. It just seems Sansone generally as a company has just been really, really welcoming to all folks, to the point where I don't know if they've started it. On the campus, the Sansone campus, he wanted to do a couple of things, as I sat in on the meeting with
Yes,
working with the vets and those with backgrounds. Just,
he's doing that right now.
and he put his own money. So you guys need to understand that it's one thing to get money and funding from outside sources, but when you have an owner actually putting up his money, people, oh, yeah, it's a tax write-off. It is, but it's still money that he's putting up himself. So he stands behind the idea or notion that I want to give somebody a second, third, fourth, fifth chance, but you have to want it. And I know for Esperanza, she wanted it, but that interview, I think that's always a stumbling block. So
Yeah, with the interview, appearances is like key. As long as you come in there and you dressed and you look the part, they'll give you an opportunity. You might stumble over a couple words. You might, because everybody's going to be a little bit nervous. You're absolutely right. You might stumble on a little bit of things, but they're gonna, if you look the part, they're gonna overlook that. If you sound sincere, if you sound like you really want to change, because right now Rich has maybe like 20 people from the program that he's paying $15 an hour to as apprentice. Now normally when you come in apprentice, you coming in as like, $10. The bare minimum, but now they're paying $15 an hour for people to come there and to learn how to be a master tech, which is where it got me. When I went to school, the first thing I heard was, he was like, oh, you can be $250,000 a year. I'm like, oh, I got to sign up for this. And then that's why I ended up being an automotive technician, but it takes a little bit of time to get to that point, but that wasn't for me. But the blessing is that had I not went through that, I would have never met him. So that was my road to success. Like, I had to go through that. So it's, as long as you go in there and you be confident and you have to be teachable. Like, you can't walk into a place and feel like you know everything. Even if you know something about it, you have to allow them to teach you. As long as you're teachable, you're approachable. I mean, a smile go a million miles a minute. I know I got a gap between my teeth, but every time I turn around, I'm smiling. I allow people to know that I'm inviting. I want you to be able to approach me and come ask me a question. If you have the scowl on your face and you look like you're upset, who would want to approach a person that's already upset? You have to have that look, and you have to be approachable. As long as you're approachable, you can do anything, because they're going to allow you the opportunity. They know that you've come from a background that's not as nice as they would have liked, and they know that there's going to be some obstacles that you have to overcome with them, and they're going to give you that opportunity. But if you come in there upset and you look like nobody can say anything to you, then nobody's going to say anything to you. People are like, get them out the door, give me the next person, because it's a numbers game. Somebody's going to work. Out of all the people in here, maybe we get 2 or 3 people that work, and then you're the 2 or 3 people that are the superstars. We hired a woman I went to Clinton, and I went there to do a job fair, and we saw about 300 women, and it was one woman that came through. I don't even particularly remember the woman, but she came through. She took it. She stood there. She listened, and then when she came. After she left prison, maybe about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks after she got out of prison, she came up there. We gave her a job. She's like doing 17 cars a month now. So, and that was her. Never had sold cars before, but she came up there smiling, happy, I was sat in on the interview. She was very, like, bubbly. She exuded, I just want to learn something. I just want to try something. Sometimes if you be honest with yourself, like when I was committing crime, I already knew that that's where I was going to be. I remember saying, like, everybody, it's crazy. I don't know how everybody else did it, but everybody would come home and they would have them Depakote boots and they would have them jeans with the 2 pockets. And I remember being in the projects one night like, yo, I want them jeans. But I didn't realize that the only way that I was going to get those jeans is if I went to prison. So I'm like, I want them jeans. Everybody's like, oh, you got the new ones. And they get the party. And it was like a person come home from prison and it's like they're a celebrity almost. They came home, they got the party, everybody's giving them money, everybody's taking them out to buy them stuff. It just seemed as though it was the way to go. Until I actually got my pants. They didn't fit right. They was kind of funny shaped. And then I got my boots. They tore up the back of my heels. I'm like, and this is something that I actually look forward to. I wanted these things. It's crazy what you want and what you ask for when you don't know better. Because eventually God going to give you exactly what you asked for. And I was like, yo, I want them. I should have never said that, not once, because I already resigned myself to get that. I should have never wanted those jeans. That was the dumbest jeans
versus the
ever.
50,000. She was at 30,000 going, okay, as opposed to 50,000.
100%. So I'm just glad that God saw favor in me and saw enough in me to make me want to change. Because I could have been, but for the grace of God, I could have got on drugs. I could have been somewhere doing the absolute most for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many of my friends that I see now, and I'm like, wow, that happened to you. Like, they work in a job that they don't see any future in. Like, I don't like talking about people's job because God forbid I'll be in that same situation, but it's certain things that I'm not saying I'm above that, but I'm saying I'll never do that because I'm not going to apply. So it's a whole bunch of things that I see my fellow man where I was like, oh, he the man, he got this, he got that, he got the cars, and now he ain't got nothing. Because when they come and they get you, they take everything. They even took my birth certificate when they came and raided my house. They took everything. So it's a blessing that I'm able to still stand here in my right mind and be able to talk to people and tell people my story on how I made it through. Because it's an opportunity for everybody to make it through. This doesn't have to be the end. I always say that at the end of my statement, this don't have to be the end. Because anytime I was in situations like that, I felt at that moment like this is the end. Like, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. And I was already resigning myself to be something that I didn't want to be. You know what I mean? But if you take a step back, think of all the things I'm sure your parents or somebody in your life told you when you was a child, that education is the key, and that is the truth. That's the doorway to whatever you want to do.
Do we know why education is the key?
Because it's something that no man can take away from you.
Perfect. That is the one thing that can never, ever be taken away from you. Your name can be taken from you. Finances can be taken from you. Any material good can be taken away from you. I'd even venture to say sometimes love can be taken away from you, right? But the one thing someone can never take from you is your knowledge and your education. The only way that gets taken from you is if you're losing your mind. But studies have shown that even when you're losing your mind, where you may not be able to articulate where the rest of us understand, doesn't mean that you've lost it. You're just not in a position to articulate it in a way that we understand. So think about that. It's something someone can never, ever take from you. And isn't that what we all want? We want to know that something is just mine and solely mine, that no matter what the hell happens, can't be taken from us. And that's the one thing that can't be taken from you.
Yep, that's why I always tell people I can sell cars anywhere. Anywhere. I choose to stay at Sansone because they've done so many things that I feel like was for me. But I can sell cars anywhere in the world. That's something nobody could ever take from me. I'm always going to be the best at that. That means I'm always going to have a job. I'm always going to have money. I always say if you fire me at 9 o'clock, depending upon traffic, I'll have a job by 9:30. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be able to do this. And when I walk in the room, they're going to hire me because they're going to be like, okay, in the car business, just like any other business, people talk. So somebody know me wherever I'm going. Oh, that's Esperanza. She the only girl that sell cars. Yeah, she the best. Somebody's always going to know who I am, and I'm always going to be able to do what I have to do to make a living. Yeah. Your name definitely ring bells. It used to ring bells for the wrong thing. But now it ring bells for the right.
So, Miss Esperanza, how do you feel about being in the room? So your network, how do you feel about your network being something that you should build on? How do you feel about that?
I'm very passionate about it. Like, I want Prison City and her to be more than what I could have ever dreamed that it could be. Like, just the fact that once you go to jail, people don't care what you got to say. And the reason why I created this company is because I've been telling my story all over the place, and people always be, oh my God, like, your story. And I'm like, that ain't even all that, you know what I mean? I always be thinking, like, it ain't even, like, I feel like I'm just like any other girl that was on the block, sold drugs, hung out, whatever, and then got locked up. But I've heard other women tell their story, and it's like, wow, you went through all of that and you was able to get to this point. So I just believe that everybody deserves a platform where they can voice where they've been and how they got through it, and those stories is going to deter other people. Like right now, I interviewed this young lady, and I saw her down Bo Robinson. I gave a speech there, and she ended up coming on my show. I interviewed her, and she was like the most honest woman. She talked about how before she went to jail, she felt like she was weak. And she was depressed, and she was stressed, and she was like, and I have nothing to be depressed about, because it's women in prison right now that are never coming home. I should be grateful that I was allowed the opportunity to see the light of day again. So it'd be situations like that. She told me how, she telling me her upbringing and how she used to go to bed with no food in her stomach, no lights. Those are things that I can attest to myself, and it just gives you a feeling of I'm not alone. Because every person, when they in the trenches of whatever problems that they have, they feel like they're alone in that. And this has never happened to anybody else, when there's nothing new under the sun. The players might be different, everything might be different, but that has happened to somebody else. And just knowing that somebody else went through what you went through, and they actually got through it, is sometimes the hope that a person needs. Like, this ain't going to kill me. It didn't kill her. What makes her better than me?
If I tell myself I can do this and then I don't do this, somehow I failed.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think you get to success? You gotta
Fail your way to
you
success.
gotta fail some things, and sometimes you gotta fail 20 times before you get it right. Just change your thought process. And I think all of you have done that when you decided yesterday or Monday, you know what, I'm gonna come to reentry and see if that's gonna work. May not work, I'm gonna see if it works.
Be there. So if there's somewhere you want to be, if there's something that you're thinking about doing, something you want to do, Esperanza said she's in the automotive field. She didn't go there by, where she is now is not, she didn't go there by what would usually be the directive. She went there one way and ended up in another way. Be in the room. If it's something you're interested in, go for it. Don't talk yourself down. Don't think that it's not for you, you can't be there. Be in the room. You never know what can happen. Be in the room.
Absolutely. And tell yourself something positive every day. Like, every day I wake up, I say today is the day that God made just for me. Like, forget about everybody else. God made today just for me, and I'm going to go out there and represent like it was just for me. So if you tell yourself something positive every day, I'm telling you, it might even be the only positive thing you hear all day long is what you said to yourself. But you have to do that. That's like, I tell myself, yo, you smart, you funny, like, I be giving myself the pep talk before I walk into anywhere. Like, you're gonna kill it. When you go in there, they're gonna be like, yo, she the best. And then when I come in, I'm like, oh, okay, I am the best. So it's whatever you tell yourself, and you have to. In my mind, it's not over until I win. Like, I don't care what's going on. If I'm not winning, it ain't over. I still got a shot to keep going, because it's not over till I win. If you have that attitude, you always gonna prosper, because people always stop right at the moment where they was about to become successful. Right at that moment, you be like, you know what, I can't do it no more. And had you went 2 more steps, you would have made it. You know what I mean? It was, I read a book, Think and Grow Rich, and the dude was mining for gold. He was mining for diamonds, part of himself. He was mining for diamonds. And he had been doing it for about a year. He produced nothing. He sold the thing that he was using to mine for the diamonds. He sold the farm. The next dude came through, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to dig just a little bit deeper. He was a foot away from the most expensive diamond mine he could have had. A foot away. And the next dude that came through, he became rich, and he had everything that he wanted a foot away. Had he went a couple more steps, he would have made it. You have to put yourself, when you decide that you want to do something and this is what you want to do, you have to make it so that there is no retreat. There's no way that you either going to do it or you're going to die. That's how I look at it. Every month, it'd be a bad month. It'd be customers don't be coming, all this. I'm either going to do it or I'm going to die. Because at the end of the day, I got XYZ bills. I want to go shopping. I want to buy stuff that I ain't supposed to buy. These are the things that I like doing. And I have to do this. And there's nothing that's going to stop me. I don't care what the economy is. I don't care what the customers say. I don't care. It's going to happen because I'm going to make it happen. And if you put yourself up against the wall, I always say I work better under pressure. Like I do everything at the last minute. They be like, why you didn't do that earlier? You had all this time. Like, because I'm against the wall, and when I'm against the wall, I work better. That's probably not the best way to go about things, but that's the way that I see it. Like, as long as I put myself in a position where I cannot retreat, I'm always going to be the best.
And just so you guys know, the most successful people on the planet
Failed.
have that attitude. The attitude, I don't know if everybody has Netflix, if you have an opportunity, watch the Steve Jobs story from Apple. Everybody thought he was crazy, you can't do this, and he failed miserably. He was like, nope, I'm going to keep pushing, I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to keep doing this. And to him, he was the smartest thing in the room. To him. But he also knew that he had to have engineers, because what people don't realize, Steve Jobs was not an engineer. He didn't even know how to code. He didn't even know how to code. How does he own Apple? How is that possible? Because he understood, and he never let anybody else deter him. Now, Esperanza says she makes sure she tells herself something positive. I don't think I have a picture on this phone, but I'll check. On my mirror in my bathroom, it's all runny now and all this fun stuff. There's 2 yellow Post-its that I have in my bathroom on my mirror. Obviously, I have to get up every morning, take a shower, do all that fun stuff, and brush my teeth, so I have to look in the mirror. They're there to remind me. I have to remind myself. One says, you're beautiful. The other one says, everything's all right. I see that every day. Whether I read it or not, you do realize that subconsciously it's there for me to see every day, just to remind me of the things that I don't feel so great about. But that's in my head every morning. So as I brush my teeth, it's there to remind myself. So just something as simple as that. Remind yourself that you are worth something. Even when the rest of the world is telling you you're not. That is not true. We all have inherent value. We all do. Find out what that is. And it doesn't matter if the rest of the world doesn't believe it. You got to believe it. And I can assure you, once you start really believing it, guess what happens? Everybody else believes it. Everyone. And that's just a fact. So I thank you guys.
Thank you.
If you have questions, I think Esperanza's going to stick around for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Tiny
I
bit
see y'all
longer.
bought some food today. I'm definitely about to
You know, so you know. Food, make sure everybody stays around whenever there's food. So it's lunchtime, so you guys, please enjoy lunch. For those of you who weren't here yesterday, just take a second to meet with me and Bobby really quick. I want to make sure I have your paperwork, and we can go over whatever we need to go over. Thank you guys so much for your attention.
Stitches 1, 2,
Appreciate it.
3.